In the modern world, many people question the purpose of rituals. Some see them as mere traditions, repeated without thought or meaning. Others feel that rituals are unnecessary in a rational, scientific age. But in Buddhism, rituals are not about superstition or blind repetition. They serve a deeper purpose, helping us connect with something beyond our daily concerns. Rituals create a space for awareness. When we bow before a Buddha statue, light incense, or chant a sutra, we step out of our ordinary routine. These actions remind us to pause and be present. They shift our focus away from distractions and bring us back to a more centered state of mind. Even a simple ritual, like offering a cup of tea with mindfulness, transforms a common moment into something sacred. In Buddhism, rituals also help us cultivate discipline and sincerity. When we perform a ritual with intention, we train our minds to be steady and focused. This is why monks follow precise routines in their daily practice. It is not just about habit, it is about shaping the heart and mind. When we engage in ritual consistently, we develop patience and inner strength. Over time, this discipline extends beyond the ritual itself and influences how we live. Another important role of rituals is in deepening our connection to the Dharma. The physical act of a ritual is not the goal, it is the doorway. Through rituals, we embody the teachings of impermanence, selflessness, and wisdom. For example, when we bow, we acknowledge that we are not separate from others. When we light a candle, we reflect on the temporary nature of all things. These small gestures carry profound meaning if we approach them with awareness. Rituals also serve as a bridge between generations. They connect us with the wisdom of those who came before us. When we recite a chant that has been spoken for centuries, we are not alone. We share in the practice of countless others who walked the same path. In this way, rituals remind us that we are part of a larger spiritual journey. Even outside of Buddhism, we see rituals everywhere. A morning routine, a quiet moment before a meal, or a mindful breath before speaking. These are all rituals in their own way. The key is not the action itself, but the awareness we bring to it. So why do we perform rituals? Not because we must, but because they help us return to what is truly important. Many people think of repetition as boring, unnecessary, or even mechanical. In daily life, we often seek new experiences, new challenges, and new distractions. However, in Buddhism, repetition is not a meaningless cycle. It is a path to deeper understanding. Consider the practice of chanting. When monks recite sutras, they do not chant once and move on. They repeat the same words again and again, sometimes for years. Why? Because wisdom does not always come in a single moment. By repeating a sacred text, we allow its meaning to settle within us. What we do not understand today, we may suddenly grasp tomorrow. Repetition opens the mind gradually, like water shaping a stone. This principle applies to many Buddhist rituals: bowing, lighting incense, and sitting in meditation. These are all repeated actions. But each time, something is different. Maybe the mind is restless one day and calm the next. Maybe we notice something new about ourselves. Through repetition, we come to see the constant changes within us. We also learn to accept these changes with a peaceful heart. Repetition also strengthens mental focus. In a world filled with distractions, our minds often jump from one thought to another. But when we engage in a ritual repeatedly, we train the mind to stay with one thing. A single breath, a single chant, a single movement. These small repetitions develop great concentration. This is why Buddhist monks and lay practitioners alike value structured daily practice. Beyond Buddhism, we see the power of repetition in many aspects of life. A musician plays the same piece over and over until it becomes second nature. An athlete practices the same motion until their body moves effortlessly. A child learns language by hearing the same words again and again. Repetition is how we internalize knowledge. It is how we transform understanding into action. However, repetition is not about doing something mindlessly. If we repeat a ritual without attention, it loses its power. The key is to bring fresh awareness to each repetition. Just as no two moments are the same, no two repetitions are truly identical. When we recognize this, repetition becomes a tool for discovery rather than routine. Many people struggle with meditation because they expect instant results. They sit once or twice, feel restless, and give up. But meditation, like any other practice, requires repetition. Each time we sit, we are training the mind, whether we realize it or not. Over time, repeated practice brings clarity, calmness, and insight. In our modern world, repetition is often seen as unnecessary, even outdated. But in truth, it holds deep power. It teaches patience, sharpens focus, and reveals hidden truths. Through repetition, we do not simply go through the motions. We awaken to something greater. Rituals are not just physical actions. They are a way to connect with something beyond ourselves. In Buddhism, rituals are meant to guide the heart and mind toward a deeper understanding of reality. But how does this happen? How does a simple act, like bowing, chanting, or lighting incense, lead us to something sacred? First, rituals give us a sense of presence. When we engage in a ritual with full awareness, we step out of the rush of daily life. We are no longer lost in past regrets or future worries. Instead, we return to the present moment. This presence creates a space where we can connect with something greater than ourselves, whether we call it wisdom, peace, or the Dharma. Second, rituals remind us of our inner nature. In Buddhism, the sacred is not something far away or external. It is already within us, waiting to be realized. But in the chaos of life, we often forget this. Rituals help us remember. When we bow before a Buddha statue, we are not worshipping something outside ourselves. We are honoring the Buddha nature within. When we light a candle, we are not just creating light in a room. We are awakening the light of understanding in our own hearts. Rituals also help us express things that words cannot. Sometimes wisdom cannot be spoken. It must be experienced. A silent bow, a moment of stillness, or the sound of a bell can communicate something deeper than language. In this way, rituals become a bridge between our ordinary minds and our deeper wisdom. Another powerful aspect of rituals is their ability to transform the way we see the world. When performed with sincerity, even the simplest acts can become sacred. Drinking a cup of tea, taking a single breath, or walking in silence. All of these can be rituals if we approach them with awareness. The sacred is not limited to temples and monasteries. It exists wherever we bring attention and sincerity. Some people may wonder, do I need to follow traditional Buddhist rituals to connect with the sacred? The answer is no. Rituals are not about following a fixed set of rules. They are about creating a meaningful space in our lives. What matters is not the ritual itself, but the heart behind it. Each person can find their own way to connect with what is sacred. In the end, rituals are not about performance. They are about transformation. They help us see beyond the surface of life. They remind us of what is truly important. And most importantly, they bring us back to ourselves, not the self that is caught in worry or confusion, but the deeper self that is already whole, already at peace. Rituals are often seen as external actions, but their true purpose lies within. They are not about following tradition for the sake of tradition. Instead, They offer a way to bring awareness, meaning, and depth into our daily lives. Through rituals, we step out of the distractions of the world and return to something steady, something real. As we have explored, rituals help us cultivate presence, deepen our understanding, and connect with what is sacred. Whether it is a formal Buddhist practice or a small personal ritual, each moment of mindful action has the power to transform us. The beauty of rituals is that they do not require special conditions. A single breath, a moment of silence, or a gesture of gratitude can hold the same depth as the grandest ceremony, if we bring our full attention to it. If you have ever felt drawn to rituals but were unsure of their purpose, I hope these reflections have offered some clarity. Rituals are not about rigid rules. They are about the heart and intention behind them. Each person's path is unique, and what matters most is sincerity. Thank you for taking the time to listen and reflect with me today. Your support, whether through likes, comments, subscribing to this channel, or even a super thanks, is deeply appreciated. It means a lot to know that these teachings resonate with you. If you have thoughts or experiences with rituals that you would like to share, I would be honored to hear them. May your practice, in whatever form it takes, bring you peace and understanding.